Hello everybody and welcome to a new video, and today we're here to talk about the future of physical games. So a little background on myself, of course. I started collecting games back when I was 15 years old. I acquired a good library of games over the years. I've kept pretty much everything I've gotten, and there's a lot of changes that have happened to games over the years, and especially I would say with the 7th generation. The 7th generation meaning the 360, PS3, and the Wii, we started getting downloads, which was a good thing at the time, I thought. And then games were able to be patched, which is great. So if a game came out buggy or you found a bug in the game, developers could fix that for you, and that was a great thing. Because I've seen some games, especially in the 6th generation era, PS2 and stuff, that were really buggy. Buggy on certain parts were kind of game breaking pretty much. An example of that is Ars If you haven't played Ars Part 2, really good game by the way. There's a boss in that game that you have to be so powered up to beat, and you can't beat the boss on the regular means. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think I remember I grabbed the Game Shark because I had one, and I had to use the code to get past her, like level up higher or whatever. But stuff like that, was heartbreaking. Like, how's this game buggy? You pay like $60 or more for this collector's edition, you can't get past. It's broken pretty much. So, but the 7th generation and everything, if that happened to one of their games, they could fix it, which was fantastic and everything. So I was talking to my buddy Joe from Media Glitch, and we were talking about GameStop. GameStop powered the players and all that stuff. I've always liked GameStop. You guys know that. You've seen my other videos about it, but they do have their problems and everything. But they are adapting to what's going on. They're changing their practice and everything. They're not just doing video games, so they're making sure they can stay around pretty much. Joel was saying that he thinks they might not last 2 or 3 years. They might be gone in 2 or 3 years pretty much. And I disagreed with it. I said they're making the changes and everything, but he's kind of brought to my attention that physical games are not what they used to be. And here's an example of it. So you go out and buy a game and everything, and you figure the whole game's going to be on there pretty much. Some games add DLC later to the game, but some games actually have the whole game ready, and they cut out certain parts and make it DLC, which is insane. So you're always paying more for the game pretty much if you want to play the full experience in a way. Here's one of my favorite games, DSCX, how I mess up the name, Mankind Divided, Adam Jensen and all that stuff. Game is freaking awesome, but it feels like it's missing something. The DLC that they added to it helps that, but it feels like it was made during the cycle of the game. Now, I could be wrong about that, but that's an example that I'm talking about with newer games. You always go out and buy a game, you don't know if you're getting what you would feel like a full package of what they would usually put out. Back in the 7th generation, 6th generation. I would say 6th and 5th for sure. You got the full game pretty much because there's no DLC or add-ons and all that stuff now. But now it seems like companies are just going the way hey, to make up cost or something like that, we'll make DLC or whatever like that, which it could be fine in some cases, but I think it's been taken advantage of. Maybe you guys don't feel that way, but I feel that way. It's the only games that I buy these days that I feel that are like a worthy purchase are usually indie type titles. And here's an example of that. Sparklight. This is the full game, everything that was put on it, no DLC, none of that stuff. This game is complete, which makes me feel good about that. That's what I wanted. Another one here, even though this was released episodic, but Dreamfall Chapters, when they made it a physical game, they put everything on it. Fan-freaking-tastic. I don't have to worry about add-ons and all that stuff, and just whatnot, or you know what I'm saying. But now we're in an era that everybody's okay with DLC and add-ons and all that stuff, and I feel like it's taken away from developers trying to make something else. Like, say for instance, Street Fighter V, right? I haven't really played it that much, but Street Fighter V, fun game for a lot of people. So this season pass crap and all that stuff, add-ons and everything, these kids like that stuff. But I remember the days of when the developer had an idea what they wanted for the game, and they put it in the game, all of it at once, you know what I mean? But now it's just like, hey, we'll add on certain stuff later just to keep it going, and that takes away from a sequel. Why don't they just make Street Fighter 6 if they're going to do all that stuff? But I'm not going to talk all about that. That's just the way it is, and these kids are accepting that stuff. So they're having a good time with the game and everything, so that's on them. But me personally, I didn't even get the game. I think I bought Street Fighter 5 and I thought that was going to be good. And I mean, it was lacking. I mean, there was no they didn't even have an arcade mode in it, which was crazy. I was like, well, how do you not add an arcade mode in the fighting games? But anyways, I got rid of it. That's another topic. I don't even want to go into because I was pissed. But anyways, these are just examples of games just not really being like fully, just like feeling like a full product, I would say. And I just feel like it's kind of going downhill after that. Like they're just trying to make it more digital pretty much. They're going that route, and I mean it's slowly happening. And like I said, Joel was telling me that hey, he thinks that like the 10th generation is going to be it, and I'm starting to kind of agree with him. If we lose GameStop, which might, I don't know, but if GameStop goes away, a lot of people will get happy about that. Like, yeah, I hate GameStop, they ripped me off or whatever. But if GameStop is gone, that gives all these companies like, yes, now we can do all digital only. And for you guys who like collecting games and having a library stuff, for newer games, that's pretty much a wrap, and that's how it is. And I think we might be going that route. Am I sad about it? Somewhat, but I understand stuff evolves and everything, and times change and everything. I will be very selective on games I get in the future if they're all like download only. I won't be buying that many games, of course, because I don't feel like I own it. What sucks about digital download is that you don't own the game. But at the same time, my buddy Joel told me that, hey, reason why I buy digital for certain games because he has 2 PS4 systems. If he buys one digital copy, he can put it on both systems and have multiplayer or whatever. Like for multiplayer games, digital downloads are probably good, especially if you have 2 systems. Single player, then okay, yeah, you see, get what I'm saying. It seems like what a lot of us are doing now, and I was doing the same thing, is that when a game comes out, of course we want a price drop or whatever. That's a good thing also too in the future. But when it comes to fighting games or something like that, we're waiting for like the complete version of the game pretty much. They get their season pass and all that stuff. But a lot of us want our stuff embedded on the disc because nobody's talking about what's going to happen to the digital downloads in the future with certain games when the online goes off. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, you won't be able to play certain games online. Like Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which I like that game a lot. They split that game in half when they had it all ready, like the Echo 6-pack and everything. You can only download those guys. So when the PSN, if it eventually goes down and you can't like download none of that stuff again, then those characters become a coffin. That story mode becomes a coffin, and it really sucks, man. I mean, seriously, that's the route that we seem to be going. I know I got off topic with that, but here's what I wanted to say to you guys. I feel like it's going to happen. The digital is going to really take over. But here's the thing, though. We still have systems that have physical games, and the companies are still making games for older systems. So I think that will continue. So say that whatever the 10th generation, which is pretty much after the PS5 and Xbox Series, people will still be making games for those systems. I have games here, like people are still making games for the Genesis, the Game Boy Color. There's just a lot of people that are still dedicated to making games, physical games that is, for older systems that they really enjoy. So even if we go into that digital route, there will still be enough people out there that are still making games for older systems, and that's a great thing. And that's how I thought about it. I have enough games to play for a lifetime. So even if it started slowing down with physical games, that I would definitely have time to catch up on a lot of games because I'm definitely behind on a lot. But that's how I look at things. I'm ready for the digital era. And guys, don't take this video as that I'm giving up. Like I want the digital era to happen, like just digital. I believe in half and half. That's what I think should happen. But there's too much. Games cost too much to make these days. At least like the AAA titles and all that stuff. And these guys just want their money. They want as much money they could get. And if they could cut out physical, they're all for it because it makes more money for them. So that's what that's what it's about. It's about that dollar bill. So take it how you will, pretty much. But like I said, it might not happen the way I'm saying it. Maybe the 10th generation will still have physical games. I don't know. I'm not thinking that far ahead. I'm just thinking right to the next announcement to when they finally show what we want to see this generation. And next generation is what I mean, 9th generation. PS5, Xbox Series X, and whatever the Switch will do. I'm thinking the Switch is going to do what they'll do. They'll do the Switch Pro or whatever people keep calling that one. and that'll be just a docked system, and that'll be like kind of competing with the Xbox, new Xbox and PS5, kind of ish, I guess, because Nintendo's like their own thing nowadays. But yeah, guys, so let me know in the comments what you think about it. You know, I think this is a big deal. This is a good topic to talk about. I'll be active in the comments, you know, talking with you guys about this, because I've kind of accepted it. I was kind of like totally against it a couple years ago. You guys know, see my videos about it and everything, but it's just everybody's starting to do it now, like with certain games and everything, and it's just like, it's just too much. You know, you don't feel like you're getting a full package. You know, most of my games here, my PS4 games, a lot of people don't notice that they're actually like indie type titles. You know, and they're full complete games pretty much. Not many AAA titles, unless they were ported from other systems, which they would be complete, like something like Dead Rising 1, Dead Rising 2, kind of ish. Matter of fact, that DLC was exclusive to the Xbox 360, so never mind. That's still incomplete somewhat. It is incomplete. But you know, it's just, yeah, most of my titles are indie games, and yeah, because I just feel like those are you're getting most for your money pretty much, you know. But like I said, I'll be in the comments talking with you guys about it. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So thanks for watching this video. Sorry I was all over the place with all this talking and everything, but just a lot on my mind with this, because when I talked to Joel about it, man, it really kind of like put me through a loop of thinking about stuff. And you know, those of you guys out there saying, oh man, I can't wait for Gamestop to be gone. Yeah, wait till you see what happens when that happens, because as soon as that happens, the company's going to start announcing that they're doing digital only. Radical Reggie, and I will see you later.